Ready to travel bigger, better, and smarter in 2026? Pride and Glory Travel and Cruise Planners has unforgettable trips lined up, and you don't want to miss these. Starting May 1st, on board Royal Caribbean's Wander the Seas, departing Miami, stops in Coco Cay, San Juan, and Charlotte Amelia. Balcony rooms starting at just $15.84. On June 17th, experience the ultimate vacation. 2 nights in Las Vegas, 6 nights in Hawaii, then 2 more nights back in Vegas. This dream vacation starts at just $5,000 for 2 people. Coming in July, date to be announced. Explore Alaska on board the Carnival Miracle. See the Tracy Arm Ford, Seymour Glacier, Skagway, Janua, and Saskatchewan, and Victoria. Inside cabins start at $904 per person. Then October 17th, enjoy an 8-day Caribbean cruise on the Lure of the Seas, leaving Fort Lauderdale, making stops in Williamstown, Orangestown, and Coco Cay, starting at just $1027 per person. And on November 29th, wrap up the year with an 8-day cruise from Miami, going to Nassau, Coco Cay, and Falmouth, Jamaica, starting at just $747 per person. Don't have the full amount up front? No problem. With FlexPay, you can secure your spot today and pay over time. Spots are limited, so act now. Call 920-265-8143 or visit prideandglorytravel.com. Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planners, because your next chapter deserves a better view. Well, hello there, folks, and good evening and happy Tuesday, folks. I tell you, 5 o'clock. Hope everybody had a great weekend on Valentine's Day weekend. I am so glad to be here because it is just so fun. We had a beautiful day. I guess up north it's getting some wonderful weather too. And speaking of that, guess what? Talk to my nephew. What's up in the house, bro? See, you guys getting some nice weather up there, man.
How you doing, sir? I'm doing wonderful. And the weather, you're right, it did break. So we it's warming up and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it was in the 60s in Chicago. Today I think it's going to be close to that, and you're up in Michigan. So, I mean, I don't know what your temperature is, but I know you guys are right in that same zone,
Yeah, yeah,
of that warming trend. It's not going to last. I'm letting you know. I've been watching the news, and I can see that trend kind of. You get a couple of days like this, and then it all of a sudden does this and go back down to reality.
yeah. Well, it warmed up enough where I gotta kill one of those stink potato bugs in my room.
Oh
So
my goodness, yeah. I don't know what they
they
are, but okay.
they came out of hiding for hibernation for a little while.
Yeah.
I'll be glad when they go back.
I'm sure you will, man. So anyway, we're glad to have you here. Let's get jumping right into the show here, folks. Before we get into it, let's make sure you hit the like to subscribe and share this episode. Take us on the road with you wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. And don't just watch, join the conversation. Drop a comment and send this to somebody you agree with or somebody you disagree with. What do we have today, James? Talk to me, bro.
Well, first of all, welcome back to everybody. Um, Today we're covering a little bit of everything. Once again, we're starting off talking about what we're watching right now and how content is shaping our mind. Then we're getting into the real origins of Valentine's Day and whether it was about love or marketing. We'll connect that to Frederick Douglass choosing February 14th as his birthday and what that really symbolizes. After that, we're highlighting Black frontiersmen who helped shape the American West, but rarely gets mentioned. Then we're having a real cultural check conversation about parents who compete with their children. Uh, we'll touch on the Winter Olympics, medal standings, and close with a serious discussion about ICE, law enforcement, and accountability in America. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
All right, we're back here again this Tuesday, folks. Glad to have you here with us today. Glad to have nephews back in the house with us. We're going to start our topic off with taking care of each other, folks, because this topic came to me because this is a serious topic. We talked about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago. James asked me the last show we did actually for me to explain what I was talking about. And this is word to the wise about taking care of each other. A couple of episodes ago, I shared that one of my best friends passed away this past Sunday. A few of us took his wife out, to lunch. She's such a beautiful soul, but you can still see the weight she's carrying. Grief, doesn't just disappear because time moves forward. It makes you think, and it makes me think: are we forgetting that we're wired to support one another, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, also? If you can't help one way, please try to find a way to help another way. No one should have to walk through this loss alone. Whether people admit it or not, we were created created for community. It's in our DNA. We belong to each other. So check on your people. Show up, sit with them, pray with them, laugh with them. Just take care of each other. Talk to me, James. What do you think about that topic today?
I agree, man. I agree. And there's no time limit on grief. You said that you mentioned that you have to be willing to let a person grieve in their own time.
Right.
And that's going to be different for everybody. So just because you get over something or think you would get over something in X amount of days, weeks, months, years, don't think that that's the same for everybody.
Right.
And each loss could be different. Um, I know for um, one of the guys that I grew up with, best friend,
Right.
brother. I joke around and say we shared everything but a womb. There were times when our mothers would be sitting there playing cards with each other, and we're in the same crib and playpen.
Right.
So, and I know he passed. Wow, it's almost been 8 years, and it doesn't take but one thing, a song to come on the radio that'll
Oh,
break me
absolutely.
down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have
You know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
so it every person grieves differently, and they will grieve differently for each person that they lose. So
Right. Yeah. There's another young lady that I knew for a lot of years since I moved up here, and I met some other friends. And her husband passed away last year, and we're Facebook friends, and we're also friends when she stops in and visits. So, uh, but I mean, we talk about that because she always mentioned that the pain is still there. It's only been a year, not even a year, but the pain is still there because they've been married so many years, and to not have that connection, just like my friend and his wife, who's been married, God knows how many years, 40 something years, and all of a sudden that part of you is gone. It just like, oh, wait a minute, something's not right with this picture. So yeah, it's hard, and that's why I say, all of us, need to step up to the plate. Whether we know it or not, whether we understand they're grieving, and you got to let them grieve, but you can still be there to support them through their grief by just taking them out to lunch. You don't have to talk about their loss. You can talk about everything else in the sun to take them out of that for a moment, for just that moment, take them out of that thought of the loss that they just had, and then they can go back into the grieving as they want. But at least give them that freedom to loosen up. And she loved it. And she texted us yesterday, and we got home, and she said thanks for coming, doing that with her, and she just loved it. It took her away for a minute, just give them that, take me away for just 2 minutes, So anyway,
absolutely. And you said that they were together for 40 years.
oh yeah, yeah,
That that's a lifetime.
yeah, yeah,
That truly is.
yeah.
That's a huge part of you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. That's part of your world, because you don't know anything else better, but being together with them, which that's going to be another topic to our show next week, because I want to talk about that. I'm actually post that on our website, folks, so you can check it out, or on our Facebook page. But one of the topics I'm going to talk about is passion in a relationship. I'm going to be posting something about that next week, because that's part of this same topic, but we'll talk about that later, because that's a part of that loss. Because the passion you have for that love, that it's hard to get back. So anyway, that'll be another topic we'll talk about next week. Let's jump into the next segment. Why is this one bother this? It doesn't bother me. So I don't want my biker friends out there to get this twisted, because I'm not upset. I'm a biker. I've been a biker all my life. Okay, so guys, I've been just, I love to ride, and I love to go into events, and I've been to Sturgis 13 times in a row, and I mean literally 13 times in a row. Uh, Went to a lot of bike events, and I got a real question for us riders out there, and I'm not complaining. I'm just generous curious. Are you familiar with biking, the biking community, James?
That's not my world, man. So I'm all ears.
But hey, you can still step in and because you can have a conversation on this because this is exactly what I deal with. I have been a biker for a lot of years, and I have attended a lot of bike and a lot of bike events across different cities and different states. One thing I've constantly noticed, and this that it gets me. Every single biker event plays rock music as a primary form of entertainment. And I am talking about live rock bands, classic rock playlists, heavy rock being the dominant sound at about 99% of the events that I personally attended. What I find interesting is that biker culture is incredibly diverse. There are black bikers, white bikers, Mexican bikers, even German bikers who all share the same love for riding. And the reason I'm bringing that because we have a couple of people be in Florida come down here to our chapter meeting, and they're from Germany or Europe somewhere, and they got bikes here because they're snowbirds or whatever you want to call them. They have bikes still here, and they're from all over the world. So, many of these writers also enjoy R&B, hip hop, soul, blues, and other genres of music outside of rock. So, my question is not about whether rock belongs there, because historically it does. My question is why rock seems to be the one genre that gets major representation at biker events. Is it tradition? I know it might be because of outlaw bikers image that was shaped back in decades ago. I'm sure you're familiar with those, right? Hell's Angels and all that stuff. And is it tied to classic American culture and brands like Harley Davidson? What's his name that had the bike and all the girls thought he was so cool, but huh?
Fonzarelli,
Yeah,
Arthur Fonzarelli.
yeah. They got him, but then there was another one, actually a movie star from the '50s too. That was a biker, white guy also, and he was a biker, and everybody thought I can't think of his name, but all the ladies went crazy over him being a biker. You,
Talking about James Dean, are you?
yeah, James Dean, yeah, James Dean, because he every time he pulled up, he had that bike. Remember the bike and the leather jacket and stuff back in the '50s. So is it tight? I mean, like I said, I'm not complaining about rock music, folks. Don't get me wrong. I'm an entertainer. I sing all genres of music. It just finds it interesting that in such diverse community, the entertainment rarely reflects that diversity. I would love to see a biker rally where you hear R&B, blues, southern soul, or even DJ spinning something different along the side of the rock bands. So that you might not think you have something to add to that conversation, but you actually do because I mean,
But
I'm sure you see up in Michigan, there's a lot of black bikers there,
yeah,
all over the place, huh?
I think the more relatable thing for me is the car culture world. Um, you go to classic car shows and car shows in general. Um, Most of the times it's 50s music that's playing
Right,
to
right,
get the classic cars.
right.
Even though like my car club, even though we have all ranges of cars. We have cars everything from early 1900s all the way to a brand new Trackhawk that might be out there. And it's usually 50s music that's playing unless you go to like what they call a donk show where it's usually 70s cars only, big body cars,
Okay.
and then it's usually R&B um, and soul music. But yeah, it's
They got the little
with the car.
theme set up for these
Yeah,
little, what do they call them? Culture settings that they all have their little theme of music that they want to play for them. And I'm like, well, why? Because the culture is so diverse. Even in your car club, you probably have so many diverse different ethnicities there that why wouldn't you just mix it up so you can hear a little bit of everything for every culture that's out there, as opposed to just one style of music?
yeah,
And that's what I've dealt with my whole life riding bike. Every time I went to a biker event, it's heavy metal, classic rock, and like I said, I like me some classic rock or country. Sometimes they throw in that country thing, and it's like, dude, there's a bunch of black bikers here trying to support you guys. You can throw an R&B song in there or something, you don't have to always, because trust me, there's a lot of white people that like R&B music, so I mean, Huh?
I know.
Yeah,
I'm here in the Detroit area, man. This is the home of Motown. So
I know, I
you
know. And
you will get a lot of people who know every Motown song that'll come on.
I live with it down here, man. People doing my shows down here because people are transplants or something, and a lot of them are from Michigan, and they say, "Hey, dude, you know any Motown? Because that's my home. That's where I'm from, up in Michigan." And that, so they listen to the music. They want to hear the music, but when I go to my dealership rally, it's rock music, and I'm like, guys, can you play something different than just rock music, or have a different band out here other than a rock band? Not everybody wants to hear this crap. I don't mean crap. Don't get me wrong. Hey, stop, folks. Don't be texting me and sending me nasty letters. I don't mean rock music is crap. Okay, yeah, that's not it. I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
But
you like every music except reggaeton.
I don't mind reggae, man. I mean, reggae is cool
I didn't
too.
say reggae. I
What
said reggaeton, which is Bad Bunny's music.
I have no. I don't. Wait a minute. Whoa. Tech time, nephew. Come on. I I I don't dislike it. I just know nothing about it. That it's hard to like something you know nothing about. It's kind of like a woman. It's like I don't know nothing about her, so I can't say I like her, hate her, dislike her. I don't know her. Same thing about music. I don't know it. I just don't know it. I wish I did. I like the beat. Don't get me wrong. I love the Puerto Rican beat, just like I love the beat. What was that groove that what's the name? Gloria Stefan and them played it's not a Caribbean. It's called something else, but but the beat you know who Gloria Stefan is in the Miami
Yeah,
Sound Machine. That Cuban
yeah.
that Cuban beat. I mean, I love that music. Maybe people don't want to embrace culture. I don't know, but that's what who knows. But I embrace all culture. I don't care. I think I can just continue to learn. Even at my age, I want more knowledge. More knowledge. Feed me info. I love it. Give me more shit crap. Excuse my French to talk about. Let's talk about what are you watching right now. Right now, what are you actually watching consistently? Not just scrolling past. I think we're living in a binge watching culture where entire seasons drop at once and we consume them in 2 or 3 days. Speaking of things we consume without really knowing the origin, let's talk about Valentine's Day. Before we get into Valentine's Day, though, I want to talk about what we're watching because I finally finished uh, the fifth season of
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things. Finally, a couple of days ago. I think it was Friday or some Thursday, Friday, and my wife said, "So now what are you going to watch? Are you upset that it's over?" You know what? I kind of am because I really enjoyed the series. I mean, it was the
Me too.
yeah the message throughout all the years and watching these kids grow up was amazing of how these brothers when they wrote that and did that the message to and watching these kids grow up and fight the demons it was just well done. I can take my hat can't take I have to take my hat off to them because it was well done. I really do. It did enjoy it all the way to the end when they were leaving each other, and it was well done. Okay, I really enjoyed it. So am I going to miss it? Yes, I'm going to miss it because it was. But I'm glad it was over at the fifth season because they ended it well.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree with you. I was amazed even in the first season that the cinematography was period correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you didn't they didn't use HD film to shoot this film that was supposedly happening real time in the 70s.
Right.
Um and so the film itself was kind of grainy still. I love that whole thing because I literally started watching it thinking this is old, right? I don't and it was great.
Well, you remember
Um
I don't know the fifth season. It kind of shocked me because every season they bring in different because they kill the monster or blow up the whatever, and then another arch criminal comes back in. That's kind of create this get back into this world, and it kind of shocked me because when this season started, I noticed and I can't think of her name right off the top of my head. the young lady who was the villain in the movie, played in Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, the last one too. She was one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
She was the one that was fighting the Terminator.
She was mom from the Terminator. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so if you remember that, so that took me back. I'm like, oh my God, that's that lady from the Terminator, and she winds up being a villain in this movie now. So I'm like,
yeah,
it was kind of cool that they every time they brought somebody in, but I was glad to see her finish the season out with that, the series out. So,
yeah, yeah.
but let's get back into Valentine's Day because a lot of people assume Valentine's Day was created
Wait
to.
a minute. Before we do
I don't
that,
want to
I
do
want
that.
to
No, go ahead. I'm
I
teasing.
want to throw out a recommendation for you.
Oh, sure, please.
If you are into like the old NCIS movies and shows like that,
Right,
then
I am.
The Hunting Party is a good show.
Really?
I think it's kind of a spinoff of one of those shows, but The Hunting Party is a good series. They're somewhere in the second season right now. Um,
Hmm. Uh,
great plot.
Great,
Will
thank
make you
you.
is that really going on?
Thank you,
Type
because
deal.
I was trying to find. I was like, okay, what other series can I start now? And I was
Yeah.
just sitting. I did a show. I did something yesterday. I think I had a show, whatever I did, and I got home and I sat and no, we got back from dinner a couple of days ago, and I was sitting in the bed, and I was like, okay, now what I'm gonna watch? Because my wife said, now that your show's over, what are you gonna watch? Because we have our little routine. We do watch shows together from 6 to 8 at night. We watch shows together in the morning before I go to work, and then she'll go do her thing, and then I'll go to work, in my office. But then later in the evening, we get together and we have dinner from like 6 to 8 or 5:38. We watch our shows between that time, 8:30. So then she'll sit up and watch her thing, and then I'll go in the bedroom, and then I'll kick my legs up, and that's when I watch my shows. Because she's either doing a puzzle or whatever, and that's where I get to watch the crazy crap that I watch because she's not into sci-fi. So
Okay. Okay.
that's why I can cut loose because yes, she don't do sci-fi at all, and I do mean
So
at
so
all.
that one, and there's also 5 seasons out there and available to watch of Bel Air, which is the remake dramatization of the old Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't know it was gonna be well worth watching. But dude, because I'm old and I got that CRS disease. Text those to me because I guarantee you by the time I hang up off this line with you, I'll probably forget everything you just said. So,
Will do. Those are two good ones.
sweet, thank you, nephew. I'm gonna get on that. We can talk about it next week.
Yep. By the end of the second season of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I thought it was kind of silly and he was just a little bit too goofy. This one is a dramatization of that, and it's a real one.
Oh,
It's
okay.
real.
I'm gonna check. that. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Definitely hit me up with that info. So let's jump into this next segment, folks. Talking about Valentine's Day, which we just had a couple of days ago on Sunday, because a lot of people assume Valentine's Day was created to sell gifts to women, but the origins actually go much further back. Some historians connected to Saint Valentine, a priest who was said to have secretly married couples when it was forbidden. Ooh, and others trace it back to Roman festivals and Lupercalia, which was more about fertility and ritual than romance. Over time, the holiday shifted from something religious and cultural into something commercial, as it always does. By the 1800s, mass produced greeting cards helped turn Valentine's Day into profitable events. In the 1900s, jewelry companies and retailers expanded the expectations that love must be expressed through expensive gifts, and we run out there and buy that crap just because they say so. The real question is whether the holiday was made up or whether capitalism simply evolved it into what it is today. Now, we're going to talk about this, but here's my 2 cents because I've always said this because if people really pay attention, every day they got something going on in this country on the calendar. Every day it's either peanut butter day, hot dog day, Valentine's Day, sweetest day, and people say, and that's why I get upset when we talk about not politics, but we talked about the United States and its society. And I'm gonna bring you in here, James, on this. about commercialism is good. No, it is not, because this is what happens with commercialized, talking about is good for America, commercialism. No, it's because when it gets out of hand, this is what happens. It takes a great idea like Valentine's Day and blow it into something totally crazy. Christmas, same thing with Christmas. They take a perfectly great day and turn it into all about giving me a gift just because of the almighty dollar. So no, commercialism isn't a great thing at all times. Should it be held back? Yeah, I think it should be. Talk to me, James. What do you think, man?
And you're 100% correct. Commercialism has it's what makes this world go round, but at the same time, it changes a lot of, like you said, good things into something that it really wasn't ever meant to be. Um, but we have that same problem and issue with so many other things. Um, in fact, most holidays now, I just had this conversation with one of my cousins. Most holidays now are viewed as more of an excuse to have a day off than what the actual purpose is.
Right, yeah. I mean, even Fourth
So
of July, and Veterans Day and Memorial Day, it's like, oh, let's have a barbecue. It's a day off. I don't have to work today. So
yeah, yeah,
I got a 3-day weekend. Let's take a vacation. It's like
100%. And for me, my wife and I, we early on in our relationship, we said we weren't going to do Valentine's Day. We weren't going to celebrate it like everybody else does. Um, and my reasoning behind that, and I told her right off the bat, was that gives me an excuse to not treat you right 355 days a year.
yeah.
I wait till that one day. Too many people out there wait till that one day to go out and treat their significant other to those things.
Right, right.
I mean,
We're going to talk about that next week. Remember, I was telling you about the topic we're going to have. That's good.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is exactly about that topic, which we're going to be discussing next week.
So we decided a long time ago that Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day would not rule our world.
Right.
Um, I'll wake up to her on those days and acknowledge the day, but it's not like she doesn't expect me to come home with a bouquet of roses, a box of candy,
Well, I
a
say,
diamond.
and I would do that because like I told my wife, and I don't know if you see my post on Facebook. My post to her was like, although every day is Valentine's Day with you, which I did because every day is Valentine's Day with her. I love her that just that much, and I treat it like that every day. That even though it is, I'm still going to honor her on this day and give her a gift. I won't buy jewelry. I hate buying jewelry. I think that is a waste of money. That's just who I am, unless it's a Movado watch. But outside of that, I'm not a jewelry person. I'm not buying diamond rings and necklaces. Every now and then I'll do it, but like I got, did something for her, but it wasn't for any special day. It was just I got her necklace, which is a beautiful diamond necklace, and it wasn't for any particular day other than the fact that I love you, and
And here's a secret that a lot of men seem to fail to realize. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of whatever it is,
yeah,
a pound of punishment.
right,
Um, so in other words, buy your girl, your wife, a single rose every blue moon for whatever reason, no reason at all. That goes a long way when you're actually in the doghouse.
yeah, yeah.
As opposed to trying to make up for screwing up, spending too much time out with the fellas or on the game. That makes up for it in the long run. You'll get more grace
Right. Well, we're
going
talking,
into the
yeah, and like I
situation.
said, hold on a lot of that topic because we're going to talk about that next week at the next show because I'm actually going to post something out on our Facebook page and on our site and try to get people to get involved in that conversation and come back in next Tuesday with us, and we can answer some of those questions. So I'm gonna try to really put that out there really hard and pull up the heck and see if we can get people to respond, and then we can answer those questions and talk about it next week at the show. So, but let's talk about Frederick Douglass, because this is something that it either bothers me right now today because I know DeSantis is trying to get rid of all this crap, and it just irritates me. But Frederick Douglass did not know his exact birthday because he was born into slavery. This is about Valentine's Day again, folks. Okay. He chose February 14th as his birthday, which is powerful because it represents self determination. A man who was once legally considered property chose his own day of celebration. That decision unknowingly tied Valentine's Day to Black freedom and identity. This is something poetic about a day associated with love also being connected to a man who fought for liberation. While we're talking about overlooked history, let's highlight something else most people never learned about. Douglass, I learned about him in school. I don't know if they were still teaching about Frederick Douglass when you guys were in school. I don't think they even
They,
do that anymore, which is
I
sad.
don't know if they do now. Back in the day, Frederick Douglass was one of those 5 names that we learned about every year during February.
Right. Yeah.
So
Because I mean, it's Black History Month. You know exactly, and he was a big part of that. James Beckwourth was a Black frontiersman, explorer, and fur trader who played a major role in shaping America's West. He lived among the Crow Nation, was reportedly adopted into the tribe. He is credited with discovering what became known as Beckwourth Path, which helped settlers travel through the Sierra Nevada mountains. Despite his impact, his name is barely mentioned in conversations about westward expansion. History often highlights certain pioneers while quietly erasing others. We should question who gets remembered and who gets edited out of the story. Now, before we go any further with this here, uh, this young man we just talked about. Now, Frederick Douglass, I knew about. We learned about. This young man, you're right. I didn't learn about. I never knew about him. Again, our producer tends to does this magical thing. I don't know what goes on in his brain, but he does his magical thing and just start coming up with conversations that, and I think that's a great conversation being Black History Month because I didn't know that, and I was glad to hear about this. Then I will research that a little bit more because I am a huge supporter of our Native American community, and I guess Black Crow or the Crow Nation, was he lived with, and they helped him out. So anyway,
well, you know what? It I wish I had done it ahead of time, but every once in a while they advertise this deck of Black History cards on Facebook. It pops up on my timeline
right,
every
right,
once in a while. I really wanted to order those in time for this year, and the reason being is that um, there's a lot out there that I don't know that we were never taught that has been erased from the history books.
right.
And like you kind of alluded to, this administration is going above and beyond trying to completely whitewash all of history. Um, but the reason why, especially now, I wish I had done it is that I kind of alluded to it earlier, but a cousin of mine had reposted something that is a social media thing right now only, where it's saying that Trump has proposed uh, eliminating LGBTQ plus month and replacing it with um, military month. Um, and someone pointed out that yeah, it's completely unfounded. There hasn't been a discussion that anyone is aware
Right.
um, of him saying this. And believe me, to carry favor with the military, he would have said it out loud a long time ago.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but it's unknown to most people that November is already designated Military and Military Family Appreciation Month.
Right. Because they have a couple of holidays in a month there.
Yeah, so
Military families,
the whole
military.
month, just
Yeah.
like February is Black History Month,
Yeah.
the month of November is Military
Come on.
Appreciation
Yeah.
and Military Family Appreciation Month. Um, I wish I had known or had gotten those cards simply because, like I pointed out to him, the month, and this kind of goes back to capitalism.
Right, right.
The month isn't. We don't recognize the month for what it is.
Right.
The Military Appreciation Month for what it is, simply because there's not as much room for capitalism in there
Right.
in appreciating the military and military family. However, that is a time, just like Black History Month is a time when we should use that as an opportunity and even an excuse to learn more about our Black history.
Right. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But we should be doing that throughout the year instead of just Black History Month. And I talked to a lot of people about that. I mean, I played for different events for Black History Months and all that stuff, but I just think, don't wait until February to learn about your history. I mean, that's huh?
100%.
Yeah, that's the wrong time to me to be talking about and worried about your history. I posted something today on Facebook. I think it was this morning. I've been holding it before, and I put it in my save thing because I didn't want to put it out there over the weekend for Valentine's Day, because I wanted Valentine's Day to be about Valentine's Day. I do get into that with my wife, and she didn't know she was going to ride a Harley. So what I did for Valentine's Day is, because she sold all her Harley gear, is I bought her a bunch of Harley gear for Valentine's Day so she could get her ass on the back of the bike and ride with me. And there's a method to my madness. And I would have did that whether it was Valentine's Day or not, but I figured, Valentine's Day, here you go, honey. So yeah, she got new jeans, new hoodie, new Harley jackets, new Harley everything. Okay. But this
There
is
you go.
it's a gift she's going to use year round because, hey, this is what we do. This is my life, Harley. I'm back over to ride again. So, but no, I try to tell people, don't, just like you were talking about Valentine's Day, and loving your girl, which we'll talk about again next week, but appreciating and loving her throughout the year and not just coming home on Valentine's Day. I posted something else on Facebook. You look at our post, go to our page, man. You see a lot of crap. But I posted something today, this weekend. I think it was just Sunday, with a picture and saying, "Ladies, do you see your husband in this picture on Valentine's Day?" And it's a bunch of guys standing at Target looking at Valentine's Day on, guess what? Valentine's
Right.
Day, because they waited till the last minute to buy a card, because most men don't even think about that. Oh shit, Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Right.
It's just women think about it, but a lot of guys just don't. They think about golfing, cars, motorcycles, all this other stuff. It's just
Right. And Valentine's Day, again, I work in retail, so we were incredibly busy for Valentine's Day.
Cookouts.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, this is insane. I kind of expected the whole flowers and different little feminine type gifts, but like flowers and like the chocolates and the candy and even some of the clothes. But I didn't expect, like, it was so busy in the store that our numbers rivaled some of the major holidays like the 4th of July and so on and so forth.
Man.
I was just amazed, man. We take a door count every 30 minutes. Our typical day is 150 to 200. And that's every half an hour how many people are coming through the front door. Valentine's Day and the day before, our numbers were like 300, 310,
Wow.
290
Wow. Yeah.
every half an hour. This is how many people are coming into the store, and it was just like, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Valentine's Day is not that one. That's not that
It's
day
I
for
know.
for
Yeah.
coming
It,
into
it's what
this
it's
this
what
big
it,
box store.
it's commercialized, which is what it's all about. It's about to commercialize and making money. Hey, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back at you folks in a couple of minutes. Stick around, grab me something to drink. We'll be back in 2 and 2. See you in a minute. Ready to travel bigger, better, and smarter in 2026? Pride and Glory Travel and Cruise Planners has unforgettable trips lined up, and you don't want to miss these. Starting May 1st, on board Royal Caribbean's Wander the Seas, departing Miami, stops in Coco Cay, San Juan, and Charlotte Amelia. Balcony rooms starting at just $15.84. On June 17th, experience the ultimate vacation. 2 nights in Las Vegas, 6 nights in Hawaii, then 2 more nights back in Vegas. This dream vacation starts at just $5,000 for 2 people. Coming in July, date to be announced. Explore Alaska on board the Carnival Miracle. See the Tracy Arm Ford, Seymour Glacier, Skagway, Janua, and Saskatchewan, and Victoria. Inside cabins start at $904 per person. Then October 17th, enjoy an 8-day Caribbean cruise on the Lure of the Seas, leaving Fort Lauderdale, making stops in Williamstown, Orangestown, and Coco Cay, starting at just $1027 per person. And on November 29th, wrap up the year with an 8-day cruise from Miami, going to Nassau, Coco Cay, and Falmouth, Jamaica, starting at just $747 per person. Don't have the full amount up front? No problem. With FlexPay, you can secure your spot today and pay over time. Spots are limited, so act now. Call 920-265-8143 or visit prideandglorytravel.com. Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planners, because your next chapter deserves a better view. All right, folks, we're back again here, like we said, in 2 and 2. Hey, let's talk about something that's been going on really, really wild. I think that with the Olympics, I don't know if you guys been following it. The number one guy that they thought was going to really make it fell twice on the ice this weekend, twice, and lost it. Just done. And he was riding for the USA. I also watched, um, something that was kind of really embarrassing. Uh, you know, U.S. was getting booed. Did you hear that, James?
No,
Yeah, it's on some when the USA came out, they were getting some of them were getting booed. They were throwing stuff on the floor, and then there was a guy that had to make a topic about what's going on in the USA, and you know who lost their minds over that. It was just crazy, man. But yeah, we didn't do well this year at all that we thought we would. We did okay, but I mean, yeah, we came out of five countries, we came in fourth. It was we got our ass handed to us this year. You know, I don't. Yeah, I think it's over with right now. Norway is currently leading the medal count, which continues their dominance in winter sports. Italy and the United States are competing closely behind in gold and silver medals. The United States has a strong number of silver medals, but fewer gold medals than Norway. Countries like Netherlands and Sweden are showing consistent across events. That's why Trump wants to bring in some Swedens, I guess. Winter sports tend to Winter sports tend to favor countries with strong cold weather training infrastructures. In America, we often pay more attention to the Olympics when we are leading in gold medals. The Winter Olympics sometimes receive less cultural hype than the Summer Games. Now let's talk about something that's causing real debate in the U.S. No, we're going to get back to that in a little bit because I still want to stick with this Olympic thing because I know James got something to say about this.
yeah, I just I haven't been watching the sports, the Winter Olympics as much as I wanted to. Like I said, this job has got me um, during my waking hours. I'm usually there. I come home and I'm just completely
White,
physically and
yeah,
mentally
right.
drained. So I haven't been keeping up with them as much, but I did find it hilarious, like you said, gentlemen, uh, and he was kind of the California hippie kind of
Yeah,
guy. Made his comment, um, and it was really vague, as if he really I don't know if he didn't want to express his opinion or he really didn't have an opinion. It kind of came across as that, but it was enough to drive the right insane.
Yeah, yeah. They lost their mind over it. Yeah, so
And he didn't say anything too out the way. He just said that no, he has his opinion. And
right, right,
I guess if you're not a cheerleader cheering on whether blindly good or bad, then you're useless to the right and
right,
to the MAGA movement.
right. But there's another thing that happened on the Olympics too, which was a shocker. See, you missed all some good stuff. I guess this is one guy, he was a skier, had an affair with a girl or something like that, and he went on, and I guess his girlfriend broke up with him, so he went on national TV at the Olympics, apologizing to her and praying, like crying, and saying, "Would you take me back?" after he
Oh,
after he got done skiing, and they talked to him, had him up there. Instead of him talking about the run that he made, which was a good run, he started crying to his girlfriend about taking him back because of what he did.
oh
I'm
man.
like, wait a minute, is this the Winter Olympics or what the hell's going on? Is this as the world turns?
Weekday soaps. That's a weekday soap, man.
I
What are you
know.
talking
That's what I'm
about?
saying. What is this as the world turns? Dude, you're on Olympus begging your girl to take you back, really? And then they ask him, he said, "Well, I figured, if I'm on a national stage, what better place to ask her to take me back for screwing up because I had an affair on her?" Dude, well, you fucked up, man.
Please
That's,
tell me that somebody interviewed her and
no,
what she
that we did not get. If they did, because he wasn't from the United States, he's from a different country. I can't even remember what country he was from. So I'm sure they found out whatever country they from and found her and interviewed her. They just hadn't put it on TV yet and let us hear what she had to say. So anyway, maybe we'll figure that out next week and we can look into that and I can hopefully get some
yeah, yeah,
information on
because
that because that's a heck of a
now I
topic.
want to know.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I was like, what the hell's going on in the Olympics this year? This is weird. You got the United States getting booed. You got the Republican Party losing their damn mind over a guy making a statement, and this guy on here crying because he had an affair with this girl and want to take her back.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
okay, I think I'll go back to watching another episode of Stranger Things. It's like people on here that lost their damn mind. Anyway, okay, let's get to this next segment, man. USA News, ICE, image, and accountability, folks. This is something that grinds at me, an independent, and I'm sure Boo as an independent, or I don't know what you want to call himself, a liberal, leftist, or whatever. I don't know. I still don't know what the hell he is.
Progressive.
Progressive. Okay, okay.
Right.
There's a new ICE commercial, and this bugged me, and not a lot of things bug me, but I had to write about it. Because there's this new ICE commercial out that was written and aired during the Super Bowl and after the Super Bowl, and it's been airing ever since. And the ICE commercial that presents the agency in a very polished and patriotic light. Now, mind you, I posted who is this commercial was made by some American activist company, whatever it's called. It's called American something. I don't remember. I posted it on my Facebook page. So anyway, when you watch the ad closely, the imagery feels clean and reassuring, which it does. I even said that. It is a phenomenal commercial. If it was true, and that's what I talked about on Facebook, if it was true. However, when you imagine those same agents wearing masks during operations and the tone shifts, most law enforcement officers, because this one always got my goat, because I heard the president on TV because the Democrats are trying to hold the Republican Party up, saying they're not going to vote on this until the ICE makes some changes, like taking a mask off. And the president sitting up there saying, well, we don't want them to remove their masks because then their identities will be exposed and putting themselves and their families in harm's way. So, and my response to that was most law enforcement officers, including police, probation officers, correction officers, do not wear masks while doing dangerous work. Even members of the National Guard that he deployed on the streets in a city. If you look at them in Washington, D.C., they did not wear masks. The question is not whether ICE should exist, but whether its methods create transparency or distance from accountability. Supporting law enforcement does not mean supporting every tactic without question. It is possible to believe in law and order while still calling out what feels unjust, which we should know about because I've dealt with a lot of it. Political division has damaged friendships and families across this country. We should not allow red versus blue loyalty to override truth and humanity. Faith and conscience should guide how we evaluate power and authority. You can stand for safety, justice, and accountability at the same time. As the jokers would say, and I've always said this town needs an enema, as Batman would say, because it's crazy, man. How can these people are running through, knocking down doors, breaking in people's homes, just to haul people out of there with a mask on and talk about dangerous work. Well, so the police officers are fighting drug dealers, gangbangers, talk about dangerous work. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing all along that judicial branch. I mean, you mentioned law enforcement in general, military in general, but the judges, the
Yeah, the
prosecutors,
judges, yeah. The district
nobody
attorneys who putting these
through.
people away, even the district attorney is putting these people away. They're not hiding their face and they putting people away for life.
Exactly. You know, and the fact of the matter is, like you said, there's no true sense of accountability. And in personal opinion, and I've heard this so many times in so many other places, if you choose a job where you are that concerned about your reputation that you have to wear a mask
Yeah, you shouldn't be
to
working at
avoid
it.
being recognized, then you made a bad choice
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, you made a
That,
bad
that's
choice. Yeah.
that's not a good. I mean, I the only way I can say it is even the Nazi soldiers in the camps didn't wear masks.
No, no.
So you know these guys are they're they are even embarrassed of what they're doing.
Well, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me, I don't think they're embarrassed. I think it's something they want to do. They just don't want people to know that they're doing it. They don't want people to know where they live at. So because they're out there doing something that they wanted to do anyway, be racist and attack Mexicans and all this other crap. I mean, they gave these people a $50,000 signing bonus. How can how in the hell, folks, in this world, in America, can you sit there and be okay with giving these guys a $50,000 signing bonus? $50,000 signing bonus. That's a year paycheck for most people out here. And you wonder why this country's in debt? If you can't get people in, now think about the people you're drawing in for $50,000. Now you're just drawing in anybody. Yeah, I mean $50,000, anybody's just anybody that mama's just signing up now. You're not getting quality people because quality people would have signed up before. So evidently, all these people that you got and you're giving them $50,000 should not even be there as an ICE agent. And then they're hiding their face, and you're trying to say it's for their safety? Are you freaking kidding me? That's not ICE. That's Ku Klux Klan with a mask on. That's what it reminds me of, the Klan. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I mean, it's law enforcement has never been about shielding the officers or the agents from being recognized, because that what that does is that breeds a culture of you can't touch me. You
Right.
can't touch me because you can't identify me.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it does. And I think that's what,
They can do what, like you said, they can do whatever they want. They feel emboldened
yeah.
because I mean, it's 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 similar to every bank robber movie we've ever seen where they go in wearing masks.
Right.
They do it because they wear a mask because it allows them
to do crime and get away with it.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
You go out there and you
Exactly.
beat up some Mexicans and you can get away with it because they can't identify you. Ooh, I'm a tough guy. Or I could, that was the theory. I could shoot people and they can't identify me. I can
Right.
do whatever I want to do and they can't identify me. And that's bullshit crap.
And these agents are, I mean, think about it. They don't have they are covering their faces. They don't have to surrender any name, badge number. They
Yeah.
don't wear a badge. Nothing. There's no identifying marks of them at all.
Right.
So if they do something wrong, then they can legally get away with this scot free.
And they do wear a
And
badge that just says ICE agent. That's all it says. It's a gold badge says ICE agent. There's no number. You can't even identify them. Like police got a shield number. So you can look at their shield number. You can identify. Fine. You don't want to give me your name, officer? I got your badge number. I can find out your name. Because I can go right to the police station and they'll put it. Because that badge is attached to, guess what? You. They got a badge that says ICE agent, blue and gold. But there's no numbers on it. It's just ICE agent. That's it.
exactly. And this is horrific. This is
Probably
this
made
is
in China too.
Huh?
Those badges are probably made in China too.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Some sweatshop in China.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But it's
And
crazy that they get away with this crap, and it finally came to a head when they shot this guy 10 times or 5 times or whatever it was on national TV. And they've been lying. They shot a person in Chicago, and it never came out until just recently that the ICE agent lied about that. The ICE agents were lying about that. So now they're under investigation or on leave of absence, the guys that did it, where they shot this girl or something in Chicago.
yeah, I
So
mean,
now there's 3 that we know of.
no, we
There's a
know
lot
of
more.
9. There's 9.
Yeah.
There were 9 at the last I heard, and that was a few weeks ago.
And it's sad. It's just sad, bro.
But typically, we're only hearing about the white victims that are being shot, but there are so many others
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
these guys are walking around with impunity.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and they're not. You mentioned the $50,000 signing bonus. There's little to no background check. And then there is what I wanted. I may be wrong, but I believe it's only 6 weeks of training.
Right, exactly. 47 days or whatever it is. And that's supposed to be 3 months. They cut that down.
And that's barely enough time to learn how to hold a gun properly, let alone when to use it, how to use it, how to de-escalate things.
Right.
None of these guys have that type of training.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, there's little to no background check. So you don't know if you're getting guys who have mental issues. You don't know if you're getting guys that were already prone to violence because with a background in abuse,
Right.
domestic abuse. None of this.
No, I know.
We don't know.
It's saying there was 6 deaths in ICE custody and 2 fatal shootings. But I mean, either way, it's just, and that's just what we know. I think there was a hell of a lot more that they're just not telling us because ICE has been lying from day one on these mass things, the things that they've been doing, dragging people and hurting people. That's not just stating how many people wind up in a hospital because of the way they abuse that they have with them, and that's just in 2026. The 6 deaths in ICE and two fatal shootings. Just in 2026, at least 32 people died in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE Customs in 2025. That's sad. This is our country. This is America. And what breaks my heart is you Republicans out there, not all you Republicans. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to generalize, but the ones that support this kind of crap, shame on you, because in the name of trying to say this is okay because of border security, shame on you, because you should never use the border security to be able to kill innocent Americans here. That is just sickening, just sickening.
Agreed. And you got to look at it this way too. That you hear them all the time talking about, why don't you just cooperate with ICE? If you agree with us and that we don't want killers, murderers, rapists here, why don't you just um, cooperate with ICE? Well, that goes back to this whole, there's no accountability for them.
Right.
Why am I gonna cooperate with somebody who feels emboldened to do the wrong thing?
Right.
And they have no accountability.
Right. No
There's
repercussion either.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because we've seen in both of the last two public executions that before any information is in, that this administration is gonna take up for them.
Oh, they
And
already have. They got a thing calling them a direct domestic terrorist. I don't care what happens, they're domestic terrorists. No matter what they do, they're domestic terrorists. And people
yeah,
believe that. People actually, their followers are all over that, saying, yeah, they were domestic terrorists. It's like, give me a break. They were American citizens. There was a lady I got into a little thing with on Facebook about, she posted something because I guess she didn't like what I said. And she said, Jerry, we cannot allow Mexicans to come into this country and kill Americans. I'm like, wait a minute. So what is it? It's okay if they're Americans killing Americans, but you just don't want Mexicans over here killing Americans. And the few Mexicans that do come over here and do that is like 0.5% of 1% point. I mean, literally a small, minute point. And then I posted something about, look at the Parkland shootings and all these kids that got killed. You don't want to talk about gun control, but you talk about border security. And since 2000, I posted something, I think it was 2015 or whatever, all these kids that already are killed. Look at the page. So 157 kids under 17 have been murdered by gun violence. You don't want to talk about that. But the one Mexican that comes over here and happened to kill that lady, whatever her name is, and I'm not trying to say anything bad because I'm sorry about her, to her family, because they used her ass and brought her into Washington and made a law about her. But what about all these other people getting killed out here? What about all these other kids getting killed out here? What about all these other women getting murdered and raped out here by what? Americans. You ain't making no law for them. But in the name of Mexicans and getting rid of Mexicans, you're going to build a law around this person. And I say shame on that family for allowing the government to use them like that and as props. That is
exactly.
just sickening.
I'm quick to make that argument, man. Whenever somebody says something about uses that as an argument, saying, "Hey, well, they're coming over here, raping, killing, murdering," dude. If we took that approach, then there wouldn't be any straight young white men here, because 99.9% of the school shootings are them.
Well, 90% of the rapers, and murderers in the United States are white people. You don't see a lot of black people doing that. I mean, black people do some crazy shit. We go out there, some of them go out there and do some crazy stuff. But rape and murder isn't one of them. They don't do child abduction. Hell, they don't even want their own damn kids. They don't go out there and kidnap kids. Shit, that's all white people.
So why are we not saying all y'all need to get out?
Right.
Let's create a task force just for y'all.
Right. It's crazy, man. It's just, but yet all in the name of border security, just because one man says so, and you think, is this don't get us wrong here, folks. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to answer that. Yes, I don't want the borders open. Yes, we do need border security. There's a right way to do that. And then they say, well, Obama reported more Mexicans than because I had this argument before too, than Trump is. Yeah, but he did it with humanity. He did it the right way. He didn't have ICE marching up and down the streets, dragging people in and out of their homes and out of their cars and shooting people. He did it the right way. He treated them with humanity because they are still humans. They're not animals.
Yep,
No matter how you want to think about it, they're not animals.
Actually, our last four presidents, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, out of our last four presidents, this guy comes in dead last
Yeah,
for the number of um, deportations.
yeah,
We haven't complained about the last four presidents simply because it's not what he's doing, it's how he's
right.
doing
That's
it.
how he's doing it. You know, if you did it in
You
any
know?
way. And here's the caveat, and then we got to get out of here. Now, you know, all you Republicans out there, not all supporters, not all, but all you supporters out there. Now, this one I can say, this one I will say, all you Republicans out there now. Here you got the executive branch, the Congress, and the Senate. And are you guys working on a border bill? You know, he's passing all this other stuff to do the craziest thing in the world, but nobody's working. If you really wanted to fix the border, come up with a border bill. Come up with a plan to allow these Mexicans to come back in legally. Are you working on it? You got all three branches, and the Congress is in your hands, or not in your hands, but in your pocket, sucking you off. You know, dude, you got the ball back in control. You can pass a law, a bill that will stand to fix the border, and you're not doing it. So that lets me know that everything you're doing here is crap. You're doing it in the name of border security and hurting people and all his followers. Instead of the Republicans, I'm talking about you guys out there. Instead of you guys out there saying, "Hey, come up with a bill," just like they were supposed to fix the health care bill. They didn't do that. They got rid of it, but they didn't fix nothing. And guess what? It's still the same. You're still not fixing a border because you're still not coming up with a bill. It's just something to use to hammer over people's heads with.
Right. It's cruelty is the point. It's an excuse to be racist.
Yeah, it is.
It has nothing to do with border security. It has nothing to do with anything other than it's an excuse to say brown people bad, go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've heard it in my lifetime more than I should have, but go back to where you came from or go back to Africa.
Yeah.
I've heard that, which means
Yeah,
that
me
I
too.
know I know this entire ICE task force immigration issue has nothing to do with the border security or immigration being a problem.
Right.
It has more to do with racism and prejudices.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Hey, we got to get up out of here. I got a show to do tonight too, folks. So, hey, you know what? I want to thank you guys for coming out this Tuesday night. It's been a blast. We went 5-6 minutes over, but that's okay. It's been a wonderful time with you, James, as always, my friend. And
As always,
yeah, and like I said, folks, check out our next week's show because we're going to talk about some really great topics about relationships and things like that. So yeah, check in with us next week. It's going to be a blast. Okay. You guys take care. We love you. Take care. God bless. Have a safe and blessed rest of your week. Bye bye.
love you.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
Ready to travel bigger, better, and smarter in 2026? Pride and Glory Travel and Cruise Planners has unforgettable trips lined up, and you don't want to miss these. Starting May 1st, on board Royal Caribbean's Wander the Seas, departing Miami, stops in Coco Cay, San Juan, and Charlotte Amelia. Balcony rooms starting at just $15.84. On June 17th, experience the ultimate vacation. 2 nights in Las Vegas, 6 nights in Hawaii, then 2 more nights back in Vegas. This dream vacation starts at just $5,000 for 2 people. Coming in July, date to be announced. Explore Alaska on board the Carnival Miracle. See the Tracy Arm Ford, Seymour Glacier, Skagway, Janua, Saskatchewan, and Victoria. Inside cabins start at $904 per person. Then October 17th, enjoy an 8-day Caribbean cruise on the Lure of the Seas, leaving Fort Lauderdale, making stops in Williamstown, Orangetown, and Coco Cay, starting at just $1027 per person. And on November 29th, wrap up the year with an 8-day cruise from Miami, going to Nassau, Coco Cay, and Falmouth, Jamaica, starting at just $747 per person. Don't have the full amount up front? No problem. With FlexPay, you can secure your spot today and pay over time. Spots are limited, so act now. Call 920-265-8143 or visit prideandglorytravel.com. Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planners, because your next chapter deserves a better view.